What's good, everyone? My name is Casey Crutchfield, and welcome to episode 15 of Enjoy Life. Before we get started today, please hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to leave a comment. Got something a little bit different for y'all today. No guests, obviously. I did have something lined up for y'all, but unfortunately had a little bit of technical difficulties and no audio, so I'm going to have that guest on for a later date, and it's going to be a great story, I promise y'all. But I think it was just God's sign to have a little bit of a solo episode, kind of reflect on the episodes we've done, do some Q&A. Thank you to everyone who sent in a question, and just kind of hint at what's next. So without further ado, before I actually get started on that, I want to say thank you to all the viewers for the support. When I say your support means the world, I truly mean it. Whether you've been here from the beginning or you're just starting to tune in, your support means the world to me. And whether it's through liking a post on social media or watching the podcast, I truly am grateful for you. So thank you guys. But going on, we're going to talk about some memorable moments so far. One of them, just kind of looking back, is that first episode, really. The benchmark. I'm going to be real, we filmed that one 3 times, and then the third time when we got it right, it was probably about 15 to 20 takes. I was super nervous, a lot of laughs. Sometimes I go back and watch it just to laugh a little bit because I feel like I've came so far from that. But I am going to keep it real. This is very weird doing it by myself, so hopefully I do good for y'all. Just stay with me now. But yeah, that first episode was great. I was truly blessed to have my brother Q on. It made me really comfortable to do. I wasn't really like that nervous once we got into the flow of things, so that was great. Another memorable moment I'd probably say is doing Brennan's episode. Being able to share both of our stories like that, his alcohol and my epilepsy, that was something that was really cool. And that was honestly like, I had the best feeling after that podcast because I just knew like that was going to hit home for a lot of people. And I think that really did resonate with everyone because, everyone has a tough time in their life. So being able to share my toughest moment really meant a lot. But trying to think what other memorable moments I could say. I'd probably also shout out the process into getting this done because I had all the stuff in December and I was like, by February, I'll have this ready to go, easy. And God had a completely different plan for me. Unfortunately, a lot of technical difficulties. This shit is hard. Editing and camera stuff is something that I'm definitely not used to. So having to do it all by myself was definitely challenging. I still really don't know what I'm doing. I'm not going to lie. But I try and educate myself better daily and daily. So I'd say that was definitely a challenge. And then using my friends as a test dummy to talk and, see if the mics would work. First couple months, the mics would not work, and having to order new stuff and return other stuff and talking on the hotline with people wondering, like, is this the right thing I need to buy? Also, shout out Evan Moore for hooking me up at Best Buy. I appreciate you. Another thing that I would say is memorable is also having Miles on the podcast. For someone at his age to go through something like that is it's truly tough, man. And I kind of understand with the whole epilepsy thing that happened to me, but obviously cancer is way worse. And for him to overcome that in so long, I mean, that's just awesome. And I'm super happy for him. And my prayers still go out to him. Everything stays all right. But I think I'm ready to get into this Q&A. I don't want to keep this episode too long for y'all. But once again, shout out to everyone who sent in a question. Got about 12 of them for y'all, a couple on Instagram and other emails, etc. But starting off, First question, where did you get the name Enjoy Life? So, funny story. Before I talk about how I got the name Enjoy Life, I was originally going to name the podcast Can't Be Broken. And you could ask anyone, like all of my close friends who knew, I was set on this name. I'm like, this is locked in. This is definitely the name. This is perfect. And so I told one of my brothers, I'm not going to say his name, but it's someone whose opinion I value a lot. I told him the name and he was like, dude, that sucks. He was like, I would not watch a podcast that name. And I was like, bro, are you serious? And he was like, yeah, man, it's not dynamic. It doesn't sound good at all. I remember he said that word for word and I was like, all right, dude, whatever. So I drove for a little while and I was like, he's right. I was like, it really isn't that dynamic. Like, I felt like it only applied to maybe a couple things, and I needed something maybe a little bit shorter too. So I was thinking about it, and I can't take all the credit because I got to shout out this man. Shout out the coolest Nichols coach ever, Coach DB. He's holding it down in Jacksonville right now. When he was around, he'd always tell us to enjoy life. And if you go look at his Instagram and stuff, like his caption was always enjoy life or hashtag enjoy life. So I was just thinking about it on my drive and I was like, enjoy life. It sounded good, kind of short, and it applies to everyone really, because obviously everyone wants to enjoy life and should enjoy life. So that's kind of how the name came about. So shout out DB and shout out my brother who was real enough to tell me that I needed a new name, because I feel like that's always a friend you need, someone who's not gonna just cupcake it for you. So shout out for keeping it real. Next question, who would be your dream guest on the show? Definitely dream guest, I would say, is definitely Theo Von. Theo Von is one of the reasons why I wanted to do a podcast in the first place. I love watching This Past Weekend on Tuesdays. It's probably what makes my Tuesdays. And, he's funny. He's from Louisiana, so I think he'd be a great guest to have on. I would love to hear the stories he'd tell. But moving on, what's the biggest challenge you faced? I'd say the biggest challenge I faced is probably going through my epilepsy. Being 16 at that age to get news like that is crazy, and it really makes you hit rock bottom at times. So to overcome something like that really has helped me in a way, because anything I face now, I'm like, well, if I can overcome that, then this really should be a piece of cake. And not saying that I won't run into things that are harder than that, but I have the mindset instilled that you can really overcome anything if you can face that. So I would say it was definitely the biggest challenge, because it wasn't something that I overcame in a day. It was definitely a long process, but yeah, that is definitely the biggest challenge. Next question. What are some goals that you have for the podcast? One goal is definitely to be over 1,000 subs. I think we can make it. Right now we have like 400 on Instagram, and we only have 220 on here, so go subscribe, especially all the Instagram followers. But yeah, I would definitely like to see 1,000 subs. I think that would be cool. Also, another goal I have, I'm kind of disappointed. I haven't done it yet, but I would like to get a female guest. We're already 15 episodes in. I feel like we need a female on the show, just to get their perspectives on life and kind of hear what they have to say. So hit us up if you want to be on the show. Another thing that I would say is a goal is there's one guest on my mind who I believe I can get on the pod, and I think it'll happen. I won't say the person's name, but that is definitely a goal of mine. So consider that one of my hints for later on. But next question, did you ever want to give up? This is a great question. yes, I wanted to give up at a point. Before any episodes came out and I was trying to figure out all this technology stuff, it was super hard. I will admit that it was stupid hard. I got so aggravated not understanding why I can't hear from both mics or speak from both mics, or why is like the camera glitching and it's like slow to react. It was a nightmare. I'm gonna be real, and I was about to just give up. Not about to, but I was definitely the thought was in my head. But I kind of prayed on it, reflected on it, and I realized, well, one, I bought all of this, so it's not like I could just like send it all back. And two, I mean, I haven't even put out an episode, so, and I think what I credit myself a lot to, I told a lot of people that I had this plan, so I didn't want people to just be like, oh, well, what happened? So it kind of had to hold myself accountable to actually do this. So, and now looking back on it, I'm glad I didn't give up because I'm happy to be in the position I am today. Uh, Honestly, I probably wouldn't have thought I would be in this position so early on. I think 220 subscribers is good for where I'm at right now, even though I'd love to see it bump up. But yeah, definitely I did want to give up at one point, but definitely overcame it, so I'm happy for that. Moving on to the next question. What's been your favorite episode and why? So I was kind of hoping I did not get this question because I feel like I'm dissing every other episode, but I'll give three favorites. And all the other ones, I still love those episodes, all other 11 of them. They're great episodes. But if I had to name three, I would probably say the first episode, just because it's the first episode, and I can always look back on that one and be like, and look at how far I've came from there, just because it was the benchmark episode. Um, uh, Probably me and Brennan, because like I said earlier, us getting to share our stories was really cool. I enjoyed being able to share that on a platform and just have others hear the story. And then third one, I'd honestly probably say the one with Chris Hilton Jr. Chris is a cool guy, very down to earth and kind of quiet, but I think he's gonna do big things this year. And he was just enjoyable to sit down and talk with, easy to talk to. So I'd say those are probably my three favorites. But I do love all the other ones, I promise. Next question. This is a good one. What's your advice to someone who wants to start a podcast or YouTube? So, I would probably first say be willing to be a sponge and soak up all the knowledge you can. I'm still learning stuff today. You got to learn to get better, and don't give up, because I'll put it to you like this. If there's a moment where you want to quit and you don't quit, that's how you know you really want it. And you just got to push through those moments. If you really love what you're doing, you won't want to stop. And I would just say, don't give up. That would definitely be my advice. Don't give up and be a sponge. Next question. And I already know who sent this out of my friend group just because of the topic. What would winning the fantasy football league championship mean to you? William, winning the football league would mean everything to me. I'm gonna keep it real. I've kind of been on the bottom of the totem pole as of lately, but that's all right because I like my draft pick this year. We're at 7 out of 12. Feel like it's a nice middle ground. I do want to kind of bash the commish right quick because I feel like it's kind of rigged because the same people have been getting the top 3 picks. I don't know, there's payments or something going on. I might have to get involved in that. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna win the championship this year. I can make this a clip later on when I do win it and take all your money. Next question. I'm not gonna lie, this next question is definitely controversial, but it's a question and we're gonna answer it. What do you think about the presidential election? So I'm just gonna start off and say, they got this fly flying around. I'm sorry if y'all see that. uh, One, I do not really pay attention to politics. Uh, I've never really been interested in it. I guess I should educate myself more. So, just one thing I will say about the matter, and I think this is the best way to put it straight up. I feel like anyone who votes or is that age to vote, listen to this. The guy who doesn't really know politics that much. Don't not vote for someone because you hate that person. Vote for the person who's going to do the best job. And I think that's the best way to put it, honestly, because I feel like it's more based off who you hate and don't vote for that person. So vote for the person who's going to do the best job. Simple as that. Next question. Where do you see the podcast a year from now? A year from now, over 1,000 subs, hopefully. Hopefully we can stay on a weekly routine because I know grad school is about to start. So that might get a little hectic. But I think we'll be fine. We'll be able to chug out episodes. So that, and third, I hope I get the guest that I was talking about. I will see one day, hopefully. So those are probably my 3 goals right there. For well, not really goals, but those are 3 things that I want to see a year from now. Next question is actually a quick add-on by my roommate John, because he wanted to ask this, but he didn't DM. What keeps you motivated to keep filming videos every week, but maybe not getting the results you want? John, this is a great question. So I would be lying if I said I did not get aggravated when a video did not get that many views. I use an analogy like gambling. So the first time I went gambling, I won buku money. Next time I went gambling, I lost buku money. So what I'm trying to say is one video might do really good as far as views, but the other one might do really bad. So I kind of get in my head sometimes and I'm like, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? Like, what's wrong? But one thing I've realized and what other people have helped me realize is that I usually freak out about it when the episode drops and it had just dropped. But also, they helped me realize that it's all about the quality right now. Like, the viewers will come, but as long as I'm giving out quality episodes and just keep doing my thing, then things will get better. And so it's those people that help me. And I also find it ironic when an episode maybe might start off doing bad in views and I'm kind of down. I always have someone who just miraculously texts me or says, hey man, great episode, loved it. Or literally the littlest thing and I'm back on track. So I would say that's what keeps me motivated for sure. And the last question, this one's on Instagram. This is a long question, but a very interesting question. It deals with relationships, so stay with us. What's your opinion on the current trends of young people dating, and what's something positive that you see in it and something negative? I'll read out the rest of the question after. But I think there's more negatives than positives, sadly. I'd say one positive is obviously in today's society, you can really connect with anyone. Like, there's dating apps, social media, like that was just non-existent 30, 40 years ago. So really your only shot meeting a girl is where you were around, I guess, if that makes sense. So I'd say that's a positive, but leading to the negatives, I feel like people only try to impress their like online appearance. Like they only want to look good for their Instagram. They're not really worried about themselves as a person. And I think another negative is that people want to date for the wrong reasons, just to have someone. Maybe not because they really don't love them. I think that's a little tough. And I'm also gonna be real. It's easy to cheat nowadays. And you see it now more than ever, really, if we're going to be honest. And I'm not trying to target females. I mean, it's a male female thing. Both of them cheat. Uh, it's just something that needs to be overcome, really. And I think some ways you can do that is just being real, having communication. I think one problem today is, we're always on our phones. Like, we could always communicate with someone, but until you have that one-on-one for real and be honest with them, you really can't understand what's going through their head. So really, if they're doing something you don't like, then you're going all off assumptions on why they're doing that. Maybe they're not doing it just to hurt you. Maybe they're doing it and you just don't know. It's just part of their natural thing. So until you have that conversation, that one-on-one, and converse to each other, you really won't know. So I think one thing that's really important is communication in that aspect. Let's see what the rest of the question said. From your personal perspective or perspectives, from what you've seen of close friends and families, and what's an overall message you want people to know about this? So like I said earlier, just based off what like I see from my friends and family, I find those who communicate the most have the best relationships. Because, like I just said, you never really know what's on someone's mind or what's going through someone's mind until you sit down and ask. And if it's really your significant other or someone you really trust or love, it should be easy to have that one-on-one conversation with them. So I think that's one, but let me move on to the next part of the question. So the follow-up is, what's an overall message you want people to know in general, not specifically about people dating? I would say, this is a tough one. I would probably say, and I don't want this to sound cliche, by the way, this is just honestly what I would say. Put your faith in God. God's got you. The way I think about it really is when you're focusing on Him first, things just start to work out. It's weird. Like, I promise you, you'll notice like the little things start to go your way. And if you put Him first, everything else will follow. What I like to say is that I'm running my race at God's pace. And I think that's the best way to put it, because I'm just gonna put Him first and see what happens. And I believe that's the best way to do it, to be honest. But moving on. Thank you everyone for doing the questions. But we're gonna go to some what's to come. I do have a guest. He is a pretty good businessman in Thibodeau. It's gonna be interesting. Another thing that I want to do is something food related. I would love to have someone in the food industry on, talk about what that's like, owning a business like that. I think that'd be really cool. So if anyone wants to, hit us in the DMs, hit us email. Another thing I want to hit is the one thing I said earlier with the specific person. I hope I can get that out for y'all. I think it would be a great episode and y'all would love it. Something else I have coming is the episode that was supposed to air this week. That was a great story. Y'all are gonna love to hear that one. And we also, this is the last thing I wanted to announce, save it for the end of the episode. I will also be doing a giveaway soon. Details about that will be on my Instagram. And we're going to be giving away some cool items. I promise you, y'all are going to love it. And the items are really one of one. So Whoever wins, we're going to pick out 3 winners. Y'all are going to love it. But with that being said, I don't want to keep this episode too long, and I feel like I cannot talk this long in a camera by myself. But I kind of enjoy doing this solo episode. It was cool. Let me know if y'all want to see some more of this. I'm thinking during the school year with stuff getting busy, I'll probably maybe not have that much time to shoot with the guests as much. So I might have to do a solo episode maybe every 4 episodes, we say. I think that's a good mark. So let me know if y'all liked this one. And I think we're going to end it like that. I just want to say thank you again to all the listeners, to everyone who supports me. Once again, I just truly appreciate it. I really love y'all, man. I'm going to keep this going. I promise you. We're going to bring out great episodes and great content for y'all. And first solo episode, we're done. Thank y'all for watching. Love y'all. Have a good one.